When I was about 16, I had a Vespa scooter down in Brighton, and my girlfriend, who must have been 14, was at a school in Eastbourne, which is not very far away. And her father didn't really like me, so I would visit that school by night, park the scooter, climb up 4 stories on the drain pipes and meet her in the attic. I didn't actually marry her for another 10 years. And the only other guy who was visiting another girl was Oliver Reed, who was the actor, and he had a motorbike which was much more macho than a scooter. And one day I was taking her back incognito to school from a tea house in town, and a bicyclist came out of a side road, and next thing I woke up in hospital having been unconscious, and of course her father discovered that I'd been taking her out. That was very unpopular, and that was a scooter. And I then learnt to drive when I was 17 on my mother's Morris Minor. I remember sometimes on a wet road, on a corner, they were not very good at cornering, so I scratched my mother's car quite a bit. That wouldn't have been popular. And then I moved in the army in Germany. I got my first real car, which was a 6th hand Peugeot 203 or 403 or something like that. And as a young second lieutenant, we were asked up to Hamburg to a party to say goodbye to some major who was leaving the regiment. And so I drove a friend of mine up to Hamburg, parked the car, walked to this farewell thing. There must have been some sort of alcohol, I suppose. And then after the party, the 2 of us, very lowly second lieutenants, walked back from the hotel and couldn't remember where the car was parked in Hamburg. So we eventually ended up with the police, who weren't in the least interested, and we never found the car to this day. My first car, we just lost it through not knowing where it was parked. And then a bit later, things called Land Rovers arrived. I think it was 1962 or 1963, and I left the British Army on a posting to the Arab Army, and then suddenly I had 6 long wheelbase Land Rovers and 60 Arab soldiers. I was the only Brit in the reconnaissance platoon, and for 2 or 3 years in places with no tracks whatsoever, we made new roads up precipitous cliffs and so on to get to the western part of Dhofar, avoiding all the ambush corners where the communists were, shooting at you with rocket-propelled things and so on. And I remember passing a predecessor's Land Rover blown to bits in a place where it was pretty obvious that you drive. You should never go anywhere that's obvious. And we made a new route in there, and I grew to love the ruggedness and the simplicity of the long wheelbase Land Rover. And I've been with Land Rovers ever since, and they have done the most incredible things and got out of really nasty predicaments, both military and on expeditions.